Hello. I think we're live. Are we live? I think we're live. Woohoo! All right. 1 second. Okay. I just now got home. So I am trying to get something to eat for dinner. Let's see, can we do that? There we go. All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. If there's anybody there, hello, Bueller. I just got home. I just literally walked in the door. And I was doing readings all day at Crescent Moon Gifts in Tacoma. So I'm a little bit frazzled just from doing readings, and I stayed a little bit longer because there was someone called that needed a reading that couldn't make it quite by the time. There we go. Couldn't make it before I was going to leave, and so I stayed a little bit longer so that I could do the reading for her. And so I've been all day doing readings, etc. So I'm just a wee bit burnt out, but I couldn't let you guys down, so I wanted to keep at least some bit of consistency and give you some kind of guidance on a Monday. I just figured that I would be home. Normally I would have been home by now and rested and fed, and my kitty would have been fed as well. But such is the life of a shaman. Kind of go where spirit tells you to go, and you be where you are, and all of that. So welcome if you're joining me. So what we are doing is, well, right now I'm going to smudge my cards. So I'm trying to ground. I just literally walked in the door a couple minutes ago. So I'm trying to ground, but I wanted to make sure I got on here in time. And like I said, this is one of the highlights of my week. I really enjoy doing this. And so I didn't want to skip it, even though I was a little bit late. And I'm trying to figure out how to maintain some kind of consistency, because every other Monday I'm working at Crescent Moon in Tacoma doing readings down there. So I can't do the 3 p.m. mini readings that I normally do those days, but I can on the every other Monday. So I'm thinking I might make this a regular thing on Monday evenings, just for the consistency, because I know how hard it is when you get used to one thing, the routine of it or whatever, and then it switches, and then especially doing something like, okay, every other week, then you have a tendency like, oh no, I don't remember which week it is. Is it the on week or the off week? Is it the 3 o'clock or the 7 o'clock? So I might just start doing this in the evenings, on Monday evenings. And that way, they're consistent. You know when to find me, when to come and join me. And on the days like today where I was at the store all day, I will probably only pull 3 cards, just because I'm tired, that kind of thing. But on the other Mondays that I don't work, I will still do the 6 cards. So what we do, in case you're new here, every week I've been doing miniature medicine card readings. These are the medicine cards that I use. Each card has a different totem animal on it. And so it's similar to tarot readings or any other card readings you get, but it's working with the animal spirits instead of the archetypes and the arcana. And my kitty's going to jump up here in a minute because I haven't had a chance to feed her yet. Anyway, and so each animal has a different energy, a different message, a different medicine, which is why they're called medicine cards. The Native American definition of medicine as power, energy. Hey, Kit Kat. Oh, you don't want that. Come here. No. All right, so what we do is, like tonight I'm only pulling 3, so choose a number between 1 and 3, or a couple, or all 3 of them, and I will, when I'm finished shuffling, I will pull 3 cards and lay them out in front of me, and then go one at a time, and whatever card corresponds to the number you chose, that is your message for the week. That is your guidance for this week. Pretty simple, and I really look forward to this every week. I really enjoy doing this and seeing what comes up, and I really appreciate all of you watching. If you're here for the first time, welcome. If you've been watching me for a while, welcome back, and thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you. All right. What's up, Kit Kat? All right. Excuse me. Hey, Kit Kat. All right. So tonight only 3 cards. So choose number 1 through 3. And I'm going to give you a minute to choose what number you want, and I'm going to feed my little kitty so that she doesn't scratch me up while I'm trying to read the cards. So I will be right back momentarily. Maria! Feeding the cat, I'll be right back, feeding the cat. Feeding the cat, I'll be right back. I'm feeding the cat, feeding the cat, feeding the cat, feeding the cat. La la la. There you go, Kit Kat. Alrighty, I'm back. Thank you for your patience. The cat has been fed. Alright, for anyone that's just joining, I'm running a little ragged tonight. I spent, 8 hours? 7 or 8 hours at Crescent Moon Gifts today in Tacoma doing readings and stuff. So I'm a little tired. I just got home. So I'm only choosing 3 cards tonight. So choose a number between 1 and 3. And the first card, if number 1 is your number, you got Armadillo. Armadillo. Well, the most obvious part of armadillo medicine of course, is the armor on his back. So, Armadillo is about boundaries, right? The thing is that, the thing I always point out is that Armadillo's armor is part of him. It's hair that's just woven a little more densely than the rest of his body. It's just skin that's a little tougher. It's woven tighter, but it's still part of him. It's natural to him. He doesn't need to put on armor. He doesn't need to protect himself. By just being himself, he is protected. And it's similar to Porcupine in that when you are your true and authentic self, when you surrender to that divinity that you are, that light that you are, then you don't have to do anything to protect yourself. Innocence is its own protection. The more authentic you become, you know, the more transparent, the more authentic, the more integrity you have, the less people have to hold against you. Like, you can't hold a scandal against someone who is totally upfront and transparent. And the thing is, as you surrender more and more to your authentic self and start to emit that frequency of who you are, it's basic law of attraction. You will draw to yourself more and more the situations and the people that you need, or like for your highest good. You're going to start attracting the opportunities to go even further on your path, because you have, if you think of yourself as a star radiating light, and your light is at a certain frequency, right? That keeps anything of a lower frequency out. That's what Armadillo's armor does. It's just skin and hair woven tighter at a higher frequency, and so nothing of a lower frequency can pierce it. So by raising your frequency, by surrendering to that divine frequency that you bring into this world, nothing of a lower frequency can get through. It's kind of like a fire hose with, you know, there's so much water coming out that nothing can get in. And so by being your true self, you're automatically protected. And it's that hard shell of the armadillo that allows that soft underbelly to persist. And so it's kind of like a yin-yang kind of thing. It's the boundaries that allow the softness. Like, if you have, it's the people that have the healthiest boundaries, that will say no when they mean no and yes when they mean yes, that are the softest, most tender people out there, because of their boundaries, because they have that self-knowledge, that they know what their limits are, so they know where to draw the line. Then that allows them the necessary time and energy to maintain that softer interior, to be open-hearted, to be able to give of their time and their essence. So, time to lay strong boundaries. What else was I going to say about that? There was something else that just fled my brain. Another thing about having those strong boundaries, like Armadillo, knowing that he can curl up into a ball at any moment, knowing that he's safe, allows him the courage to explore further into unknown territory than he normally would. if he didn't have the armor. But because he knows he's protected, because he knows himself and he knows his boundaries, and he knows that he can curl up, then he can go further into territory that he doesn't know anything about. He can be more curious, which goes with that authenticity and that innocence, to explore, like, whoa, what's over there? I don't have to worry about it because I've got I'm protected already, so I can go there and explore that. And if I need to, I can just pull in the boundaries and be good. I remember what I was going to say. All right. Armadillo also demonstrates the difference between walls and boundaries. Walls are rigid, walls don't move, and walls break. Boundaries are negotiable, they're a little fluid. There's, like, Armadillo's armor is skin and hair, so there's a softness, there's a permeableness to it. It is negotiable, it moves, it changes, it's fluid, it's flexible. So boundaries can be maintained, boundaries can be changed out or in depending on the heart of whoever's boundary it is. But they are permeable. They aren't permanent walls blocking you off from the rest of the world. They are that bubble you need to rejuvenate, to inhale so that you can exhale into the world. So, strong boundaries. That is your guidance this week. And if you don't know how to do that, if you need help doing that, call on Armadillo to help you. Say, Armadillo, I don't know how to do this. Show me. Lend me your medicine to build strong boundaries, healthy boundaries, so that I may nurture myself. These are not just pictures on a card, on a piece of paper. We're talking to the spirit of these animals, and they are there. Like, I was raised Catholic, so I was raised with the saints. I mean, we had a number of books of saints, and you could look up, like, if you had a problem or a challenge, you could look up that challenge and find out who was the saint you needed to pray to help you with that challenge. This is kind of similar in that each animal has certain territory, certain things. Like Armadillo is kind of the master of boundaries. And so if you're having trouble setting boundaries, changing walls into boundaries, whatever it is, call on the spirit of Armadillo to help. They are there to help us. Our animal spirit guides are always around us, and they are filled with so much love. It's unbelievable. So, number 2, if you have chosen 2, your card this week is Owl. Owl is about seeing to the heart of the matters, seeing through the smoke and mirrors, seeing through any subterfuge that people are throwing up, any illusions. Like, Owl can see as well as Eagle can. Excuse me. Only Owl can see at night. And so Owl is about, when I talk about seeing to the heart of the matter, what I'm talking about is the reason that Owl is the totem of Athena, the goddess of justice. Athena is the one credited with introducing democracy and justice, the justice system, to the Greek world, which became Roman, which became us, eventually the Western society. And the reason Owl was Athena's totem is because Owl could see through any illusions, any explanations, smoke and mirrors to what was true and what wasn't true. That's what Owl is here to help with. If you don't know what's going on, if you feel like someone's deceiving you, ask Owl to let you see through her eyes. It's about listening to your heart. And a lot of times, if it's dealing with a relationship or somebody else, the answer is that you need to take them out of the equation and trust your own heart. I've been in enough relationships to know that once you start that back and forth, well, maybe if they did that or whatever it is, whatever, like, you get caught in your own illusions of who someone else is or what's the right thing to do. We get caught in our own mind back and forth, like, well, if I was a good person, then I would do blank. Or maybe I should do this instead. It's trusting your heart, seeing with the eyes of your heart, seeing with the eyes of spirit. Ask for a higher perspective. If you're going back and forth, then you're caught in your brain and not in your heart. And there's a need to surrender into your heart, to cut through all the crap, to cut through all the darkness, to see what is really there in front of you. That is owl medicine. Owl is not easily deceived. So if you need help knowing what's real, what's true, what's not true, call on Owl just to see to the heart of what's going on. And trust your own heart over any guidance, any words, anything that anyone else says or does. Your heart is your authority. It is your only authority. Your heart is what connects you to Creator, Source Energy, Goddess, whatever name you have for that. And that is the only connection you need, because everyone else is connected to that same source energy through their heart. So when you're connecting with your heart to Creator, you're connecting to everyone and everything else in the world, in the universe. And so to try to go so just trust your heart. That's really what it comes down to. Your heart cannot be deceived. Your heart will never deceive you or misguide you. Your heart always knows the answer. You can trust that. Another thing that just popped in, okay. Owl is the only bird who is silent when she flies. Owls' feathers are softer on the outside rather than having a harder edge like most birds. And so when Owl flies, she literally makes no sound. So what that means to us, what you can take back from that, is that the truth, it's like cutting through the darkness, cutting through the smoke and the mirrors. It's also cutting through the noise. The truth is simple. The truth is quiet. The truth is always there. It's like love is the only thing that exists. Love is everywhere. Everything is love. It's the basis of reality. It is the default of reality. It's the quiet between the notes. It's so we tend not to see it. Just like a fish doesn't recognize that it's swimming in water. It doesn't recognize what water is. We can't see it because it's who we are. But that silent background energy is what is true. And people try to distract us from that with noise and words and loud proclamations and everything else. The noise, the answers are not in the noise. I think I'm trying to remember, I don't know where it was, but in the Bible someplace there's a passage about someone who was seeking the voice of God, and so they sought it in the whirlwind, they sought it in the thunderstorm, whatever, like a couple other things. They only found the voice of God in the silence when everything else was still. So, don't be distracted by the noise. Don't be distracted by the fear-mongering of others. Trust your heart to know what is safe. Trust your heart to know what is true. Okay? So, that is number 2. Number 3, if you joined us late, just a reminder, we only chose 3 cards tonight because I'm tired and that's just the way it is. So, number 3, if 3 was your card, got Ant. Ant is not a very popular card because Ant represents patience. Every time Ant comes up, it tends to be someone who needs patience. And like when they hear what it stands for, they're like, "Oh my God, that's the worst thing ever." So, Ant's message is that Rome wasn't built in a day. You have many great things ahead of you. You've got tons of projects, tons of things to build into this world, whether physically or metaphorically, but it gets done one step at a time. The other thing is, like in the picture here, you see this one little ant carrying this one little piece of leaf. But there are millions of ants out there, each carrying their own little tiny piece of leaf. And by each ant carrying their piece of the puzzle, the entire anthill gets fed. So, this is your card. Be patient. Take the world off your shoulders and just do what's in front of you. Don't, you are stronger than most, just like Ant can carry, I don't remember how many times its own body weight. But, so you are very strong. But just because you're strong doesn't mean you need to carry other people's weight, okay? The best way to help others is to let them carry their own. All you are responsible for is your one piece of leaf and getting it back to the anthill, where that piece of leaf will be joined with a whole salad of other millions of pieces of leaves, and everybody gets fed. By each individual doing their part, their seemingly tiny little part, everything gets done. So, take the world off your shoulders. It's not up to you to rescue anyone. It's not up to you to individually, all by yourself, rescue the world. The only thing the world needs you to save is yourself. Take care of yourself. You are important. You are as important as any other ant in the anthill. We are all divine. We are all part of the same energy. We are all, in our essence, love. So there is none of us that are more important than anyone else. Yet, for you, in your tiny world and reality, relatively speaking, you are the most important person in your world. And the ironic thing is that the universe, the world at large, and everybody in it needs you to be the best you that you can be, and that's all you need to be. Because when you are all that you can be, when you're your most authentic, pure self, then you're taking the weight off of everyone else, allowing everyone else to make that choice for themselves. So the world needs you. There might be something that the world needs your strength for, but if you're carrying all these other projects for someone else, you're trying to carry the weight of other people, then you're not going to be available to do that thing that you came here with your great strength to do. Does that make sense? Don't expend your energy needlessly. Just because you're strong doesn't mean you have to take on all the problems of the world. The best way to help others, to help others carry their weight, is to carry yours gracefully, to be that example, to show people that, how do I say it? I guess I already kind of said it. When you're your authentic self, you give everyone else permission to be their authentic self. So when, like I was talking about with Armadillo, number one, when you radiate that frequency of light, that unique frequency of light that you are in the matrix of the world. Where was I going with that? I just lost my train of thought. Like I said, I'm tired. I'm sorry. So when you come and you're your authentic self, you're radiating your own unique frequency in the world. The world needs that frequency. The world will not be the same without you and without that frequency. You change the world enough by taking care of yourself, by being your best, strongest, and most authentic self. That helps even more than you know everybody else in the world. Because you inspire, by radiating that frequency. That's where I was going. When you raise your frequency, when you become the most authentic you can and continue to raise your frequency, and you're already high frequency, which is something else that I might get into later, but not tonight. When you raise your frequency, it becomes a question of entrainment. Where, like when you're in band or something, or you're singing and there's like in band, all the other instruments are playing, right? And the drummers have to hold their drums down because that frequency of the notes coming make the drums hum. And so they have to hold their hands on the drums to keep them from resonating. Because if they didn't, then that frequency of the notes of the other instruments raises the frequency of the drum skin and makes the drum sing. That's you when you go out into the world and you're expressing that frequency of who you are. Then you're making everyone else's drums hum and sing. They might quickly react and hold themselves tight so that they don't, but those that are ready will feel that vibration coming in, will hear their own hearts singing, and they will want more of that. And they might follow you around to find out what you know that they don't, or what it is you do to raise your frequency. And so it becomes that entrainment, where by raising your frequency, you raise the frequency of everybody around you. It might cause some people to leave because it makes them uncomfortable, because when you're brilliant and radiant and you start waking that up in someone else, that light starts to illuminate the darkness in them, the things that need to shift. Not evil. I don't believe that anyone is intrinsically evil. But it'll wake up like their fears and their doubts and those things that need to shift in order for the light to really take hold. That's why people are afraid of peacemakers. That's why I just keep thinking of John Lennon. He's been coming up a lot lately in my mind. And like, according to some conspiracy theories, the CIA or FBI took him out because he was too loud he was too much of an example of peace and nonviolence and love, and the establishment doesn't know what to do. In fact, that was one of his quotes about the establishment doesn't know what to do when you're at peace, when you arrive in stillness, empowerment. The only way they know how to deal with you is in violence. If you're violent back, then they've won because you're playing their game. But when you stand still and are in your empowerment and can't be swayed, then they fear you because they don't know how to take care of you or how to handle you. You become a threat because you're waking up their demons that they want to keep asleep because they don't want to do the work, or they're not ready to open up that Pandora's box to face themselves, to face the darkness within them. But like I said, no one is intrinsically evil. The darkness within us is not dark, isn't evil. It is misguided beliefs and thoughts and fears, and they just need to be shifted, transmuted to the light, because the further and further you look into your shadow, the only thing you will find is love. That is all that is in the world. Love is everything. All there is love. All you need is love. Dum ba da ba dum. So, believe in yourself. Know that you don't need to take care of anyone but your own self. Sometimes, and that, I know that sounds kind of weird, and I don't mean if you see someone with a flat tire, you don't stop to help them. I mean taking someone's choices away or taking someone's lessons away, enabling someone to remain asleep when they're facing a challenge that can help to wake them up, to expand their self-awareness. You can help them, be there as a support, be there to hold space for them as they're going through whatever they're going through. But to solve someone else's problems for them is taking away their lesson. You know, every time a challenge arises in our lives, it is an opportunity from the universe to grow, to move forward, to expand. Because, like Einstein said, you can't solve a problem with the same consciousness that created the problem. You have to reach a higher consciousness in order to solve anything. And so if you're constantly taking someone's challenges out of their way, then they aren't growing and you're doing them a great disservice. Because each of us is given those challenges that are custom made for us to deal with our individual fears and doubts and glory and magnificence. And so you can't judge what someone else is going through, and you can't take away those challenges. You can ease it up for them. You can support them, love them, hold space, see them as triumphant, see them in their divinity, in their unwavering, innocent, pure, divine light, because there is no challenge that can come against us that we can't rise above, because we are that love that is everything that is. And there is nothing that can present itself that does not have a solution or does not lead to a greater growth. One of my favorite affirmations is only good can come of this. So when things come up and challenging you, know that it's because, well, I just get on a roll and I start babbling, but like Einstein talks about, your biggest decision is whether you live in a universe, in a friendly universe or a hostile universe. If you live in a friendly universe, then everything is working in concert, in collaboration. for your greatest good, so that every challenge that comes up, there is a purpose to it, and there is a greater awareness on the other side of that challenge. So we think we're helping people when we take away their challenges, but we're really not. We need to take care of our own challenges, and sometimes the biggest strength is in holding space for someone else, because we do want to dash in and rescue others. I mean, that's our human nature. We want to help. You know, we're connected to others, and we want to help. But the biggest help you can be is to hold space and not interfere. You can give advice. You can tell the way things appear to you in your perspective, but the final choice has to be theirs on what to do. So, anyway, so those are the 3 cards. Excuse me. Throat's a little raw tonight after talking, but those are the 3 cards for tonight. So if number 1 is your card, you got Armadillo, and either you have very strong boundaries or you need to create strong boundaries. And if you need help figuring out how to do that, call on Armadillo. Ask Armadillo to share his medicine with you, to teach you how to create and maintain healthy boundaries. And healthy boundaries are permeable, are flexible, and they breathe. Number 2, if 2 is your card, you got Owl. Owl is here to help you see through the eyes of the heart, to see to the truth of whatever matter is in front of you, to see through any smoke and mirrors and illusions and pretenses or facades that are being presented to you as truth. Owl can see through that darkness to the very heart of the matter, which is why she is the totem of Athena, goddess of justice, because she helps Athena no matter what arguments or subterfuge or facades are being thrown up in her way. Owl sees through the darkness to the heart, and so she always knows what is true and what is not true, and therefore justice. So give yourself justice. Another thing that just popped into my head, thank you, Owl, the whole matter of justice, and how I said before, Owl is the only bird who flies silently. When you see with your heart and you know what your truth is, you know your path and the direction you're going in, you don't need to tell anyone. You don't owe anyone a justification. That's where the justice thing comes in. You don't have to justify yourself to anyone, because your heart is your only authority. So run silent, run deep. When you know that, you don't have to proclaim your truth to the world. You don't have to try to convert others. You don't have to be like, look, see, I told you so. The truth is enough, and the truth will set you free. So, and number 3, if 3 was your card, you got Ant. Patience, my friend. Everything is happening in divine order. It's not going to happen today or tomorrow. It's a process. So patience, and know that even though you may seem to be alone, there are millions of other ants carrying millions of other pieces of leaf to the ant hill to make sure that the entire community is fed. You are not doing this on your own, whether you can see them or not. There are millions of people with the same or similar mission in this world, each with their own unique blend to take care of. They have their own little responsibility, but when given together, it weaves a beautiful tapestry where all is taken care of. So you're not alone. Have patience. Know that you are in the right place at the right time. You can't be otherwise. And even though you can carry, what, 10 or 100 times your own body weight, you don't have to. Put the world down. Let yourself relax. Let the tension go away. The only thing you are responsible for is this little leaf, which is your part of the puzzle. Whatever your life purpose is, whatever that thing is in front of you, that is your only responsibility. You don't have to save the world. You don't have to rescue anyone but yourself. Okay? So, phew. I'm going to go find myself something to eat. Maybe a nice big bowl of oatmeal. Love oatmeal. But thank you for joining me tonight. Keep updated on my Facebook page about what I'm going to do. I might start continuing to do this at like 7 every Monday night. I might change it to 7:30 just to make sure that if I do stay late, that I can still have time to get home and rest before I do this. But stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed this. If you need more guidance over the week, you can re-watch this. I will post it to my Facebook page. Or you can check out my website at perchingwolfstudios.net and arrange a personal reading. I'm doing a few at my office down in Renton, Washington, in person. You know, social distancing with face masks, but I can also do most of them over Zoom. So it doesn't matter how far away, we can make it happen. And on my website, you can check out what other shamanic services I offer, see if anything resonates, because these are very strange and unprecedented times, and we all need a little extra guidance. I do. I know. And so I'm here to support you in whatever way I can. So check out my website, see if there's anything there that I can do to support you. Feel free to share this video if you enjoyed it, and come back next week. Like I said, I really enjoy. I'm so grateful that people actually watch this, listen to me babble on and on about the animals. But I appreciate you so much. So I think that's it. Oh, and the other weekly live video I do is Wednesday nights at 7. I do a Facebook Live sacred pipe ceremony, so that kind of to give people a place to breathe during the week, in the middle of the week, a place to exhale and to let go of the world, to connect, to gather our prayers together and send them straight to Creator through the ceremony of the sacred pipe. So feel free to join me there as well on Wednesdays, or otherwise I will see you here next week for our mini medicine card readings. And until then, know that I love you, that I honor you, and that I see you. All right, my friends, go shining. Have a wonderful week, and let me know how I can help. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye.